Hey guys, Music Man here back with another Identity 5 video. In this video I'm going to show you all some of my feaster gameplay, and I also just hit a dragon today, so I'm really excited about that, so I'll make another video for you all today. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so before we get too deep into the video, I would like to once again just remind you all that the link to my clan's Discord server will be in the description below. So if you want to either apply to the clan that I'm part of to compete in tournaments, or if you just want to hang out and talk about Identity with the rest of us, you're all welcome to join. So now that's out of the way, we'll take a look at the match some. So I find the prisoner first, and in this team comp, obviously, I'm going to chase the prisoner. The only reason why you would ever pass over a prisoner is if like you see like a mind's eye or a mechanic or something, because personally I find those two to be stronger decoders than the prisoner, and have less self-defense, because prisoner, you just saw right there, has a stun, although now after that short little stun he's got like nothing, but still I'm gonna go ahead and take the prisoner to the chair. And unfortunately basement was not there. If basement was there, then this would have been an extremely strong start, because basement is broken with feaster, because you're able to place a tentacle by the chair. You can do the jump trick there, and honestly it's just a really broken area. So we got the mercenary that's coming to the rescue. I'm gonna throw down a patroller here, and I'm just going to put pressure on the Merc here to try to pull off that save before half. And I end up getting the hit, and then I also get the terror shock. So already extremely strong start here, stuffing a mercenary save, which is not a super easy or common thing to do. And I see that I think that's the perfumer. Yeah, the perfumer is coming to the chair. I'm going to use my Nightmare Gaze. And I'm just going to try to put pressure on this perfumer to try to force a save. Now, she was able to bait me to hit the chair, but that unfortunately hit the perfumer. I thought I would prioritize the prisoner, but okay. I'm like, nope, no ward portal for you, because, you know, ward portal with tide body blocking, real broken. So here's the priestess. I don't want her there. So there's the mercenary here, and I end up getting another hit on the mercenary. So the mercenary is going down again. And there's honestly not a whole lot he could have done there, except for elbow pad away. I don't see why he didn't do that. But anyways, I'm gonna take the Merc to the chair. Now, I probably should have kept track of where the prisoner was at, but I was distracted with the long portal, and then I wanted to place the Merc on the chair. That I just kind of had to work with what I got. Now I need to keep an eye on that priestess, because you can see right there she's able to portal. So what I'm going to do is... Okay, so the Merc's going to gauntlet away. And then I'm like, haha, joke's on you. You can't use the slide with tide. Oh, man. So yeah, key to all you survivor mates, you cannot interact with things like the only thing you can interact with is pallets when you have tide. That's all you can really do. You can use items and you can use pallets, but you're not able to go down the slide. You're not able to go on the roller coaster. You're not able to go on the tram and ever sleeping. You can't do those things when you have tide on. So now I'm going to go ahead and put pressure on this rescue here. We got two survivors attempting a rescue here, so we'll see how this plans out. The perfumer actually ended up going back before rescuing, and that was extremely unfortunate. I'm going to keep placing tentacles down and trying to prevent them from rescuing this mercenary. And I end up getting lucky with the terror shock once again. There's one cipher left, so I'm like, okay, draw maybe. This could be a draw. That Cypher is actually primed, but I end up getting a hit on the Priestess here. I'm gonna just straight up drop the Priestess, because I don't want to deal with her if she escapes. And this prisoner is able to work his way around this area, and I'm able to down the prisoner again. So the prisoner is dead on chair, so that's why I wanted to sort of prioritize him. And I'm going to make my way back to this Cypher just so I know they won't be able to make it to a Cypher pop here. And I switch and I use abnormal. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the perfumer on the ground since I know that the perfumer was about to break free. So I'm just going to force her to use her exit path or force the priestess to heal. Either way works with me. And I'm going to take the prisoner to the chair. So now at this point, it's pretty much a guaranteed win, because even if they pop that last Cypher detention, you can usually expect to get at least one more down with detention. And I decide that, okay, I'm going to go ahead and chase the priestess, because why not? Even though it's moonlit. What was that tentacle spawn? Oh my goodness, I'm disappointed in myself. Okay, so you can see these portals across moonlit. Can be pretty broken sometimes, but I saw the perfumer's ray over here. Ends up picking up elbow pads somehow. But I'm going to try to place a bunch of tentacles way in advance, and I end up not quite able to get a hit on the perfumer here, but I know that there's no way she's going to be able to have that primed, right? Yeah, the Cypher's not primed yet because I abnormaled it, and now the priestess, and the perfumer is going to the chair now, so at this point I can pretty much just rely on camping. Now, the priestess decides to pop that Cypher. I don't think that was a smart move. I think she should have just went straight to dungeon, because now I know where she's at, if I didn't know before from the tentacles. But now I'm able to go ahead and just keep track of where the priestess is at. And honestly, I should have kept track of this better and stayed closer to the chair. I think that was a mistake on my part, right here. Because what I do here is I try going part way around to this priestess here. She's able to get a portal to get most of the way across that bridge there, and that stun lasts for a considerable amount of time. And she was able to pull the rescue off, but you know, I can't let the priestess go. I can't let a priestess go. It's a priestess. I gotta down the priestess. So I'm gonna place my tentacles way in advance. And when she tries to tight kite, you can't tight kite a feaster. I'm just gonna say that right now. You can't tight kite a feaster. And I'm able to terror shock the priestess. So now I'm gonna make my way back to the perfumer, since I don't know how far her healing progress has gone. I can go ahead and take the perfumer to the chair, and then the priestess, and they just surrender. So that's GG. So you can see how I used my camping there. The camping sort of turned that game around. I mean, it was kind of in my favor from the start, but even more so. And now I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this match on Red Church. Red Church is a pretty good map for Feaster, not going to lie. In this team comp, forward is a pretty tough survivor to go after first, but against my whole thought process here was okay, I don't know what that was. My auto target did nothing, and I literally did a 180 on this guy, but you know, whatever. I'm gonna keep chasing this forward because I know I need to pretty much go from my down or else I'll get like rotated or whatever. And I do end up downing the forward there, so not downing the forward, injuring the forward there. So my whole thought process was, okay, they've only got a mercenary, but if the mercenary saves once, then there's like no rescue potential for survivors. And he actually ends up using a large chunk of his football now, so he's not going to have that later for him to help him. There's really nothing for him to work with at this point. He's got one pallet there. He's got his football, and you see he's going to use that to get from pallet to pallet, but he needs his football in order to kite. Clearly, you can see that there. And he just tries to destroy that tentacle. So for you feaster mains out there, if a survivor decides to destroy the tentacle and you try to do a tentacle attack on them, the tentacle will do nothing, but you'll still get a cooldown, so just be careful about that. And the way to counter that is just to see what I did there. I swung at them instead. And honestly, I probably, in this match, did a not-so-smart move in chasing the forward first when there's both a merc, when there's a prisoner and a mind's eye. So I, just by my starting choice of survivors, I'm going to get Cypher Rush. And I think this kind of happens in this match. And there's no way that merc's going to be able to pull off that rescue by half. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the merc there. And I end up getting the hit with the tentacles. So now the forward's dead on chair. So at least I'm getting one elimination in the bag. So I definitely go after these survivors out of order. And what I was doing there is I was just getting tentacle hits to be able to reach max presence, of which my camping gets infinitely better. So now there's a mercenary there. He's going to be decoding on the cipher here, but you can see already a lot of progress has happened. 2 ciphers remaining. I end up getting that hit on the prisoner, and now I know he doesn't have his stun, so he has no harassment potential, so I can go ahead and take the forward to the chair in peace, because obviously the mercenary and the mind's eye are not going to have any harassment tools. That was supposed to be the forward's job, but instead I forced him to get into a kiting position, and I go ahead and use my tentacles to direct me to the nearest survivor, except I'm looking for where the ciphers are wiggling, because there's 1 cipher remaining, and depending on how I pull this here, this could mean the difference between a win and a draw. So I make my way to what we call back broken here, or at least that's what I call it, and you can call it whatever you want. Whenever I say back broken, it's those we call it broken because of those walls that you can break down as a survivor or a hunter. And I'm gonna keep chasing this merc here. Yeah, I chase these survivors all out of order. So I mean, I guess one thing to take note of from this match is just to kind of make do with what you got. I found the forward first, so I chased the forward. And I've been starting to do that more lately in games, especially because I'm finding that this doesn't happen every time, but a lot of times people that play rescue characters don't really know how to kite because, you know, top tier hunters don't chase them. And I switched to teleport here to find out where that last cipher is at, and the mind's eye is decoding that. And one thing to note about mind's eye is that she doesn't have much for transitioning. She has slow vaulting or whatever, but she's a pretty decent tight kiter because she's able to see through walls unlike any other survivor. You just have to struggle around pallets and windows because there is, of course, that risk of getting terror shocked with the slow vaulting speed. And as predicted, the prisoner decided to go for the rescue on the merc. He carried tide, so kind of a useless trait there. And I predict the mind's eye going for that pallet there, and I reach through to get that down on the mind's eye. So I'm going to go ahead and take her. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to place them on chairs away from the ciphers, and the reason why I'm doing that is to get as many survivors as far away from the ciphers to decode as possible. And I actually end up seeing the prisoner here, so I'm going to go ahead and Nightmare Gaze. He uses his stun way too early, in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and spam tentacles here. You know, feaster, broken camping, that type of thing. So at this point, if the prisoner's going to try to rescue before half, he kind of has to make a move like right now. And I end up getting a hit on the prisoner, and the prisoner gets down. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the prisoner here. And actually, I was really lucky that the Merc popped that cipher, because if he didn't, then that would have given the Mind's Eye an opportunity to rescue right away. So what I'm doing is I'm chasing the Mind's Eye, but I'm also looking behind me, because I want to see if a mercenary is going to go for the rescue, and I see that he is, so I'm making my way back over to this right here, and I'm going to chase the mercenary for a little while. I'm going to spam my tentacles over there, try to make it as hard as I can for the mercenary to get away, and I'm going to go ahead and use a charge attack. You know, range on that is extremely broken, and I'm going to make my way back towards the chair, because you can see that the Mind's Eye just went in for that rescue, and you can see I'm just sort of really trying to multitask and bounce around between all these survivors. I'm going to use my tentacle to figure out where that survivor is at, and I see that he made his way to what I like to call top broken. And you see walls that you break and just call those areas broken. Nightmare Gaze right here. And this prisoner is working around this area pretty well. And he made it all the way to back broken, so he's doing a pretty nice job. Transitional kiting here. We call this transitional kiting, what he's doing right here. But in the long run, I'm able to get the prisoner down. I believe he's dead on chairs, so now I can make my way over to that back gate where presumably, and you can see in the quick chat, the Mind's Eye is at. I forget if my teleport is queued up. I think it's on cooldown at the moment, but yeah, once the cooldown was done, I went straight to teleporting there, and the Mind's Eye was trying to heal the mercenary there. I get a hit on the Mind's Eye, and the Mind's Eye is just going to try to go for that. I think the Mind's Eye should have gone for that solo escape. So what I do here is, I personally think this was a bad move. I mean, if it's in 5v5, go for it, but I should have just went ahead and taken the Mind's Eye to the chair. But now I got the Merc kind of trapped here. So I got the down on the Merc, and now I'm going to make my way back to the Mind's Eye. And this actually played out beautifully here. So the Mind's Eye self-heals, and I see that, and I use my tentacle here, and the Mind's Eye gets downed. I'm going to take the Mind's Eye to the chair, make my way back to the Merc, and it's all beautiful. That's a 4-man for me. So it was kind of a risky move, getting that extra down at the end with the mercenary, but it ultimately played out nicely for me. So now in this match, we got a first officer forward, Enchantress Acrobat. Now when I see a first officer, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to play Anne. Anne is a hard counter for first officer. Now, Feaster is sort of like a soft counter here. Now, this first officer definitely should have used the pocket watch way earlier. The thing about Feaster is that he's sort of, I would call him a soft counter to first officer. I mean, Anne's the only one that like really counters the first officer, because you can see where the survivor is at. And I've actually been playing Anne more often lately. Might bring some more of that footage to you all, but yeah, I've been grinding Anne a bit more in ranked. I think I'm top 500 Anne at this point. Yeah. So I might want to bring you guys some of that gameplay in the future. But anyways, I get really early down on the first officer. Works out beautifully. I'm going to patroller early. So when you use patroller, 9 times out of 10, unless you don't see the survivor right away, patroller early so that you're able to get those multiple stuns in before that chair progress happens. And I'm able to use the tentacles here, and I'm going to go ahead and get a hit on the Acrobat here. Now what I'm trying to do here is just get as much damage in as possible. And I sort of predicted that stun from the forward. Already you can see 5 ciphers remaining. I've dealt so much damage because they all decided to go for the rescue there. And forwards down, Enchantress is down, Acrobat and First Officer are both injured. First Officer has chair progress. So now I'm going to go ahead and take the forward to the chair. I'm going to choose this chair right here so that I can place the Enchantress on the other chair right next to it so I can patrol between the two. Oh wait, no, that chair didn't spawn there. Usually there's a chair that spawns right in front of that cipher, but I guess this time that didn't happen. So now I'm going to take the Enchantress to the chair. And what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get as much chair progress in as I can. I'm predicting that they're going to try to go rescue the forward, and you can see that is exactly what's happening. First Officer went for the rescue, and now I'm just trying to prevent them from getting a rescue on the Enchantress. I mean, maintaining a down on the Enchantress is more, takes more precedence than maintaining a down on any other character in this match, except maybe it could be nice to keep the Acrobat down. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Enchantress to this chair right here. And now the First Officer and forward need to make a decision here. There's 4 ciphers remaining. One of them has to decode for the dungeon to open. And I thought someone would be going for that chair, and you can see the forward made his way there. I used teleport, stuffed that rescue, and now it's all up to the First Officer. So I can see that, I believe I ended up seeing that the cipher was wiggling there, and he really kind of needs to move if he's going to do anything, because, I mean, on one end, his only real shot is rescuing other survivors, but I think he was planning on banking on dungeon at this point, but already I ended up dealing so much damage early game that he didn't really have a chance. So that's just kind of shows you the power of, like, even if you don't necessarily maintain your first down the whole time, if you deal a lot of damage early game through the rescues, you're able to get yourself way in the lead. But yeah, I hope you all learned a thing or two from these gameplays, and that's the game. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that video. Please don't forget to leave any comments or questions in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.